Hey guys, Ryan Fowler with Inner Masculine Live. Hope y'all are doing well. P-Dubs was kind enough to point out that it is 4:20. All right, my man. So we're going to talk about alphas and sigmas today. And, I'm going to play a short clip, excuse me, that talks about sigma males. And actually, I had really mixed feelings about playing the clip. It's like a minute and a half. The reason I'm going to play it is I'm going to kind of make a point when I play this clip. But what I do is the alpha male, sigma male, it's a mindset. If you have the right mindset, you will eventually manifest the outward success that is typically associated with these types of people. I'm kind of I'm not kind of, I am a more or less an alpha male, sigma male factory. When people come to me, I get their mindset closer and closer. I'm not saying I do it all at once because our psyche is vast. But I used to be, I don't know, gamma, omega. Even 5 years ago, I was pretty beta in some ways. In some ways, I've always been kind of sigma. So I'll briefly talk about what all those things mean. I do have a little bit of an issue with people categorizing alpha, beta, sigma, gamma, delta. So I'll talk about that. But really what I do is in your core, get the alpha or sigma male mindset in you. We're going to talk about that. I have a client interview today, a guy who in some ways was pretty alpha. And I guess that the reason I had to take a little issue, alpha, beta, delta, all that, is because humans are complicated. And you could be very alpha in one way and very beta or very gamma, whatever, in another. And who wants to be put into a box anyways? But, there's some truth to these designations. So we'll talk about that. And Tim Costello, my good friend Tim, see you Saturday, hopefully. Tim is a fellow hypnotherapist. Mike Horton, I am doing good, man. My life's not perfect. Life never is, but my life overall is very good. I'm very grateful for the life I have. So we'll go through comments. Look at all this coming out. Yeah, we all have the programming to be, anyone can get alpha mindset or sigma mindset. I think you're going to go one way or another. I think alpha male is I'll give you the definition right now because my definition will fit all alphas or will fit all sigmas. And when we play this video, they say, oh, this person behaves this way, this way, this way. And it's like, dude, people are complex. No one's going to perfectly fit that description if you get too specific. But I'll tell you right now what a sigma and alpha male is. An alpha male is a high value extrovert who believes in his ability and value and holds frame. Sigma male is a high value introvert who believes in his ability and value and holds frame. They both make themselves their mental point of origin. If you hold frame, you're making yourself your mental point of origin. Talked about mental point of origin. Holding frame is the behavior of someone who makes themselves their mental point of origin. That's all it is. That description will fit all alphas and all sigmas. I'm going to play you this video that, again, I looked at these 5-minute, 10, 20-minute videos about alphas and sigmas. And honestly, I'm like, okay, I think that's right. Okay, I think that's right. Nah, that's not right. No, that's not right. So when you get too specific, I think it's a problem. I really do, because people are so complicated. Our psyches, there's so much nuance to human behavior. You can't say all alphas are like this or that, unless you speak in very broad terms, which I just did. I have a client interview with a guy that in some ways pretty alpha. He had some inner trauma wounds, nothing extremely severe, but enough that was really holding him back. And we resolved it one session. So we're going to play the interview of our good friend Troy today. I did a session for him like 3 years ago. So I'll show you guys that. But first off, before we jump into the whole alpha, sigma, beta, etc., all that crap, we're really just going to focus on alpha and beta, alpha and sigma today. I I want you guys to know, let me take this off here. If you see, boom, innermasculine.com/free-ebook. So let me show you what's going on there. This is coming out in about a week. Now, maybe it'll take a little longer, but we'll see. I always get stuff done. But honestly, I have like 3-4 projects. I'm doing the daily show. I'm doing 20 hours of sessions a week. And then I have 3 major projects I'm working on right now. But this is coming very soon. Innermasculine.com/free-ebook. Put in your email. When it's ready, you get it for free. A lot of people have everyone's heard of our subconscious. Most people have no idea how it works, how it's influenced your life. And that's a shame because 95% of our behavior, this is neuroscience, is directed by our subconscious mind. So if you are wondering why you can't change your behavior in certain ways and why you can't up level, well, it's 95% chance it's your subconscious. So if you guys want to up level, you'll want to understand, how does our subconscious mind develop? How does it affect us now? How does it direct our behavior? What is a subconscious program? What's up with self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, procrastination, anxiety? Why are you feeling resistance? You're like, man, I'm trying and I start to make progress and then I just stop short and just go back to square one, over and over. I've had people who made $1 million, lost $1 million, made $1 million, lost $1 million, made $2 million, lost it all. Bad subconscious programs. We fix that and then they can sustain it. That's happened to me. Early on in my first business failed. Early on in my second business, it took 2 years to be successful. And then I started doing very good. And then it just kind of nosedive. It never went down to zero. I was still doing a decent income. But then after I cleared out my inner world, it took off. I was making even more money than before. And I was sustaining it now that my inner world was right. So this is going to help you to understand there's no fluff in this. This is all just straight up facts. So you understand the fundamentals of what your subconscious is doing, why it keeps you stuck. If you are stuck, most people have limiting beliefs, anxiety, self-sabotage, procrastination. Most people have that to some extent. So what's going on and why is your subconscious holding you back? You're going to understand all of that. Just go to this, put in the email, rock and roll. So on to the main part of our show. Now I'm going to play a clip here. I really got the short, if you go on YouTube, you'll see what is an alpha male, what is a sigma male, what is a delta, gamma, etc. I got the shortest one I could find because these clips honestly annoy me, but still need to bring out the right ones. Can't wait. Thank you for writing it. Yes, sir. It's what I do, content creator. So showing you guys, I've up-leveled my life. I'm going to show you guys how to up-level yours with your inner game, inner world. And so I'm going to play this clip and I'm going to point some things out and then we'll kind of take it from there. So here we go. And this is talking about sigma males. I don't want to play an alpha male clip too. You'll see. I find these annoying, but there's a point to this, so we'll go for it. Here we go.
Love to categorize things so much that we even do it to our personalities. For some time now, men have had to choose between being an alpha male,
this is Sparta,
a beta male,
Yeah, I believe you have my stapler.
or an omega male.
Is this your place?
So this is the first problem, and all of these videos tend to have this problem. Oh, you have to be one or the other. He literally said you had to choose between these three. And what's funny is he doesn't even characterize them very well. The Office Space, the beta male, that guy wasn't beta. That guy was like omega. Are you saying Owen Wilson and this guy in The Wedding Crashers, Will Ferrell, that they're omega? Dude, these guys were like getting tons and tons and tons of edge. This shows you why these classifications don't work, Well, they do, but they're at best, they're imperfect at best. If you watch The Wedding Crashers, this guy was getting tons of women. So was Owen Wilson. So why are you calling it? Well, he's living at home with his mom, So in that way, he's maybe omega, but in other ways, he's alpha. And that's the problem with these designations. You can be very alpha in one way and very omega or beta or whatever in another way. And so it's these classifications can cause issues. But honestly, if you upgrade your inner game across the board, then it's only a matter of time where you're seen as alpha or sigma pretty much across the board, more or less. Anyways, we'll keep going.
No, I live with my mom. Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
But he's not an omega male. He gets then this girl comes out who's like a hard 9 that he had sex with. I mean, these classifications are really doesn't work.
But recently, a new personality type has come to light and claims to be the rarest of them all. So here it is, Sigma male in 60 seconds.
So if you try to classify me, I'd be at least 80% Sigma male, just so you know. I'll even describe myself in relation to what they're saying here when they're done. But no one's a perfect fit for this because people are complicated.
In a nutshell, a Sigma male is an introverted alpha male. An alpha male reaches the top of our social hierarchy through loud and dominant personalities that control every social situation. However, a Sigma male can reach the same top-tier levels of our society, but in a manner that's much more low-key. In fact, mystery is one of the traits that is most common among Sigma males. A Sigma
By the way, I mystery, because I do hypnosis, I leverage the hell out of that with women. They love it. Anyways, keep going.
male is not concerned with social norms and expectations, what others think about him, or the image that he portrays. In other words, if Sigmas had a motto, it would be no fucks given.
Honestly, alpha males, if you're true blue alpha, you have the same mindset. You're just an extrovert. That's all.
Their natural
If you're an alpha male, you care what others think about you. I mean, that's a chink in your armor. That's a weakness. That's not true alpha.
born leaders because they lead by example and they have just as much confidence as alphas, but they keep it close to the chest, only revealing it when necessary.
Confidence, key trait.
They're passionate and driven and don't do well with authority or falling in line.
Passionate and driven because they know they can get what they want and they want it and they believe in themselves, so they go for it.
They make better business leaders and entrepreneurs than employees because they're independent thinkers. They live a life unencumbered by the fluff and drama of society, like petty arguments and social media, so they're able to streamline their actions and reach their goals effectively.
All right, so that's a video. That was probably the least offensive one. They actually said some good stuff in there. But if you watch these types of videos, they just start describing all these specific behaviors, and the more specific you get, the more inaccurate you're going to get because people are just far more nuanced than that. You can't say all alpha males have these 20 traits or 10 or whatever. It's like, no, it's not true. But there's some key things he said here. I do believe a Sigma is it's an introvert. It's a high value introvert. The reason I say I'm more Sigma than anything is I've had 4 businesses at this point. One has employees. The other had 2 employees for a while, 2 or 3. I've been a regional sales manager with 20 people under me. But really, most of my businesses have been solopreneur, doing my own thing. I moved to Mexico City. I do my own thing. I lived in Utah, and I'm like, I don't like the cold weather. I moved to Texas. And I had friends in Utah, and some of them I stayed friends with. Some of I didn't. I made new friends in Texas. I don't care. I know I can make friends. So I kind of have that do what you want thing. I have not always been that way. I used to be just no self-worth, no self-belief. Almost flunked out of college because of some antidepressants I was on. Got my car repoed, broke as hell until about age 30. And although I had some brief success before then. So Sigma, Alpha, etc. They all have some things in common. And here's the thing is let me tell you a story. I had a guy come to me. He was making $140,000 a year at the time. He was team lead of some engineers. He had 8 or 9 people under him. So in his workplace, he was alpha. very, very big struggles with women. Very big struggles because of his upbringing. Very poor self-confidence with women because of how he was raised. His mom was constant criticism, etc. That's going to kill your confidence if your mom's like that. Instead of believing in you, constantly cutting you down. And so anyways, I did a session for him. And he had a 5-year dry spell, no sex, no relationships. And I think about a month and a half after the session, he was with a group of friends, several friends, not just one or two, but I think it might have been 20 or 30 or at least 5 or 10. He was in a restaurant. This guy's 40 years old. He saw the 22-year-old waitress, went up to her, talked to her. She was like an 8. She was like very attractive girl. Went up to her, talked to her, got her phone number, took her on a date, sealed the deal. And his friends were all amazed. I had one of his friends come to me and do a session because he's like, what the hell did you do to my friend? My friend would never do that. But here he is now. This guy, terrified of women, wouldn't even like date or anything for like 5 years. Goes up to this 22-year-old in a restaurant, gets her number, gets the date. And his friends are just like, who the hell is this guy? Well, when we do hypnosis, we change your deep down core beliefs. All of a sudden, he has an alpha mindset. Now, he still have more work to do. Man, when I was in college, I remember one year I had like 30 first dates and maybe 1 second date. And I was just terrified during all my dates. And the girls smelled my fear, and none of them wanted to go out with me again. So, even 5 years ago, I had cleaned up my inner world as far as my self-belief, but just when it came to women, had massive insecurities. So what we do is we go down, we find these bad core beliefs. I'm not good enough. I don't believe I can get what I want. Women don't find me attractive, whatever. We go in and we go down to your core and we change that. And that literally gives you a deep down alpha sigma mindset. I just look at alpha as extroverted men who believe in themselves and their value. If you believe in your ability and value, you're going to make yourself your mental point of origin. Why? Because deep down you believe you're worth it. And if you're worth it, no one's going to put you first except for you. Someone should. Because you value and believe yourself, you're like, well, I should. I mean, it's just natural. It just naturally happens. You get this deep down value in yourself, your belief, your ability, your value. Naturally, you become alpha. Naturally, you start holding frame because it's like, well, I'm worth something. So I shouldn't tolerate this disrespect. If you don't believe in your worth, then when someone treats you like crap, subconsciously, it's going to be a match for you. You're like, well, this is who I am anyways. It's a match for me, and you tolerate it. If you don't know how to give yourself love, validation, approval, then, the beta male thirst, one-itis says, I can't get another girl like this, because it's so hard to get girls, or you need validation. Everyone needs to feel good enough. If you don't know how to give it to yourself, and you have toxic shame in you, I'm not good enough, you're going to seek it from others. Now you're a people pleaser. Now you're validation seeking. Now you're clingy and needy and and now you're failing shit tests. You're losing frame because you're going to give up your frame so you can get that validation from the woman. And then it doesn't work. And then she kind of loses attraction and ghosts, etc. So exactly what I am doing with hypnosis is putting the alpha and sigma male mindset. I mean, you could just say it's alpha. Sigma is an introvert alpha. That's all it is. And I'm probably like 25% alpha, 75% sigma. You see my Saturday show. I'm the alpha in the group. Now, I don't think I'm any better than any of the guys in the group. I'm just leading it. They all have their skill sets. Like Gary Holmes, I don't know how to do copyright like him. He's great at copy. Tim travels around the world and he sets up stores. Like he sets up automated stores where there's no employees in the store. It's all like scanners and robotic stuff and whatever. I mean, very, very high. And he gets paid well. He gets very well paid for that. So these guys, Jordan Kurtz, valedictorian, high school valedictorian, young guy, but smart as hell, very driven, very motivated, very disciplined. All those guys have some skill sets I don't have, but I'm the leader of the group. So anyways, I don't even know I'm going into that. I'm just kind of telling you guys, when you believe in your ability and value, this stuff is natural. You naturally become alpha. It's probably more along the lines that the movie is unrealistic. Yep, that's true. Someone lives with their mom and then they go out. I think you're talking about Wedding Crashers. That clip there with Will Ferrell and Owen Wilson. Yeah, you don't see a guy living with his mom going out getting hot chicks. That's kind of what made it so funny. Alpha male, pro-social. Beta males are not antisocial. Beta males, they don't always make themselves their own mental point of origin, and they don't always hold frame. But alpha, beta, delta, gamma, all of that, it's problematic because you can be very alpha in one situation and very beta or gamma or whatever in another situation. That's how it is. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's true. I am the man in some ways. Not gonna lie. Sorry, you meant Sigma. All right, okay. Yeah, so Sigma male, antisocial. No, I'm not antisocial. I got friends, I'm dating lots of girls. And actually, if you watch more Sigma male videos, they're not really like recluses. They don't need the company of others to feel good enough. They're fine by themselves. And me, I almost never get lonely. Like, extremely rare for me to get lonely. I did used to get lonely all the time before I cleared my trauma. I got lonely all the time. When you learn that you're good enough just for who you are and you don't need anyone else for validation, and you give yourself the love, validation, approval everyone needs, boom, your loneliness goes way the hell down, just so you guys know. So, yep, I got you. Not Sigma, not beta. Thanks, Mike. I understand and agree. More comments here. Do a video on the difference between being or having your mental point of origin and being empathetic. So yesterday it was about mental point of origin, but I'll answer this question right now. Mental point of origin means you put yourself first. You take care of yourself because you understand you matter. Someone should put you first, and no one can do it as well as you, and no one will do it but you. It doesn't mean you're entirely selfish. If I was entirely selfish, I'd be doing my old job and just not give a crap. I'd still have my Porsche 911 Turbo. Well, I probably wouldn't. I probably still want to move to Mexico. So, because Mexico's great. The people here are friendly. The food's fantastic. It's a new adventure, and the women treat you with a level of respect that is difficult to find in the United States. It's a subtle, but it's like the whole dating system here is different. There's still toxic people here, absolutely, but there's a level of respect and just normalcy here. You don't see any of this woke crap here that you see in the United States. I mean, I probably have met one girl who's like that. Or I think I met 3 toxic girls. One, I canceled the date before we had it. The other, we never had a second date. But most of them are actually pretty decent. People are normal here. They're decent. There's a lot of people like that in the United States, but when you're dating, it's not like that in the United States. It's harder to find good ones. Not between, but how to be without sacrificing the other. Well, it's just like you're in the airplane and they lose pressure. You put the mask over yourself and then you help someone else. You help yourself first. Here's the thing. If you don't take care of yourself, you lose power. If you're not putting yourself first, then you're not going to get the advanced degree or succeed in your business or get the fitness. You need to take care of yourself. It's really just, hey, I'm going to take care of myself to make sure I'm good to go, to make sure where I need to be. And then when you got a good internal world, you have enough energy left over to then help others, and actually there are benefits we get from helping others. You get social connection from helping others. You get fulfillment when you're teaching others, you learn while you teach. You know, teaching requires you to make sure you know the stuff. So you're going to be learning stuff at a deeper level when you teach. So, but if I'm in a situation where, let me give you an example. If I'm in a situation where it's like I got enough money to pay either my rent or my best friend's rent, I'm paying my rent because my best friend's in charge of his own rent. You know, he puts himself first. I put myself first. If I don't pay rent, what happens? Get kicked out. Now I'm homeless. What kind of position am I in to help others now that I'm homeless? My ability to help others just took a huge nosedive. If you take care of yourself and your needs and all your major wants first, you gain power and ability to help others. A multimillionaire has more power to help others than some person working day in, day out in a homeless shelter. That's just how it is. If you put yourself first, you gain enough power to help others to a greater degree later on. And if deep down in your core you believe you matter, you have value, then you should take care of it. It's a natural fit. It feels right. And it not only feels right, but then you get ahead and then people like you more and then you have more influence. And I'll tell you, I've gotten to a point in my life where it's like, oh, you know, I just made 180 grand this year. I mean, I've made more than that, but I'm telling you the point I got to. I made 180 grand this year. Wow. Solopreneur, working for myself, you know, all the freedom I wanted. Didn't have a boss to answer to. I had clients, living where I chose to live, having the friends, dating, doing all of that, had what I wanted. And, you know, I guess living the dream. And then, you know, I literally had this thought come to my head. Is this all there is? Am I just working and making money? You know, and working, making money and going to prime steakhouses in my luxury. I think I had a convertible at the time, you know, is that all there is to it? And let me tell you, if your internal world is healthy, if your internal world's not healthy, you're going to be chasing more and more success because it's like, I'm not enough, but if I become more successful, then I'll be enough. And it never works. That's Kurt Cobain, Marilyn Monroe, Robin Williams. You know, they get all the success in the world. They're still miserable. But if your inner world's right, you're like, I'm enough just as I am. Then when you're making that much money or even less than that, you're like, hey, I'm pretty happy. And it's like, listen, what is it? You know, how much happier am I if I'd live in a mansion? Like I have literally been to a CEO's house that was like a mansion. I mean, they had these 20-foot tall marble pillars and the floors were marble. And it looked like a freaking museum. And honestly, it's kind of uncomfortable. It's like, I wouldn't want to live here, you know? So it's like, how much better is your life? You know, I like nice cars, but if I had a Ferrari instead of a 911 Turbo, how much better is it really? 5% better? I mean, what's the down? Now I have to work an extra 10 hours a week. Is that worth it? You know, for some people, maybe. But what happens is when you get everything you want, or even a lot of what you want, you're going to start saying, what's next? And if your inner world's right, it's like, listen, man, you don't get from making lots of money, living, you know, in a very nice place, shallow dating. There are certain types of fulfillment you'll never get from, even if your inner world is healthy, you're going to want more at some point. Humans are social creatures we've evolved in tribes. Some people have this idea that the tribal chieftain is like just you know, when they say dominating everyone else, you know, what's interesting, if you study tribal philosophy or I'm sorry, anthropology, where they study tribes, you'll actually find there's a lot of evidence of if a leader in a tribe became too, you know, too much of a dictator, too cruel, or if anyone else, one of the chief warriors or whatever, became too cruel, too dominant, like actually like oppressing others. Now I'm talking about ancient tribes, because actually they were able to do this when civilization started. When civilization started, that's when dictators were actually able to be just total terrors and get away with it. Once they had property rights and, some and rules and, once civilization started, they can do this. But before that, if you do the research, there's actually evidence a tribal leader or someone else became too cruel, too dictatorial. The beta males will gang up and murder him. So this whole thing about alpha males are just going to totally dominate. Well, actually in the tribal structure, they couldn't take it too far because you got to think maximum a tribe is 120. Usually it's like 20, 30, 40, 50. At that level, it's not hard for the beta males to say, this guy is treating us like crap. And then one day that guy's dead with a rock in his head. That's what happened. Do the research yourself. So all of this, alphas are going to dominate and, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, the best alphas lead. And they understand if they don't treat their followers well, if you're in a job and the job's terrible, you leave. The most talented people are not going to put up with a bad work environment. They're going to go to a job that pays them better and treats them better. So if you're a dictator in the workplace, you're going to end up with low-level employees who are very unmotivated. Henry Ford doubled his wages of all his workers. He said, I'm just going to double all your wages. Their productivity more than doubled. So I want you guys to understand that alphas are dictators. They dominate in a very cruel way, and they're not leading. They're not incentivizing. They're not treating those under them well. There's so many downsides to that, and often they get replaced. They're not that effective. So I do want you to understand that the best alphas are effective leaders. They're diplomats. They incentivize. They make their followers feel valued. They know how to motivate their sometimes with sticks, sometimes with carrots, motivate their followers. But I think there is in the red pill like this, you got to be, kind of this really dominant guy in kind of a dickhead way. If you're a boss, occasionally you got to discipline, but it's not across the board how you do it. Oh, and it looks like my camera came off. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, let me fix this guy real quick. Oh, no. Here we go. Boom. Nope. Here we go. All right, rock and roll. Okay, so I do have a client interview. Yeah, Tim, stuff does not make your life better. Well, to a point it does, but in certain ways, there are certain ways lots of stuff will never make your life better. I have known, my last business, almost 20 years I did it. The average client was worth $1 to $10 million. I had 4 or 5 clients worth over 100 million. I had 50 million, 30 million. I had wealthy people as clients. And I'll tell you what, I knew a guy, he net about 3 million a year, miserable guy, 3 million a year net. He had the Porsches, the BMW M5. He had all of that, Dodge Viper. I mean, he had like a slew of cars, miserable guy. There are certain things, money, success, clout, even dating success won't give you. So if you have a healthy internal world, you're going to say, all right, there's got to be more to life than this. And so when we're talking about mental point of origin, at some point as a leader, you're going to want to help people. I wrote a book with a guy who's one of the top 5 in the nation in his field, Dr. Arnold Goldstein. Tim knows him. And he lived in Boca Raton, Florida. He's worth 8 figures. He'd been doing it for over 40 years. He wrote some best-selling books, owned several companies. And when I came to him, he was 68 years old. And he actually to mentor people because at 68, you're thinking about your legacy. Hey, I'm going to be, and he actually died, I think 5 years later. He had a stroke. And so I come along, and guys, for you guys looking for a mentor, there are men, Ray's a good example. At a certain age, they want to pass the torch on to the younger generation. It's just like this innate desire. I mean, this is part of the tribal dynamic. We survived because we stuck together in tribes. I'm not saying the tribes were all lovey-dovey. I'm not saying everyone in the tribe was a good person. There were dominant people, bad people, dictators, in many tribes, they would end up getting killed if they took it too far. You can do the research on that. And once civilization started and they, got more organized and they got guards and property and they could put themselves behind the castle, then they can really start oppressing people. But there is a part of the human dynamic that leads us to want to teach others, to help others, to find fulfillment, bonding, find your tribe, help your tribe mates out, and they help you. But if you don't take care of yourself first and foremost, you're going to be in a spot of weakness. Alpha males understand this, Sigma males understand this. But what we do is we get this in you deep down inside of you. Deep down, you value yourself. Deep down, you believe you have the ability to get what you want. And so when you get that, you have innate confidence. And when you learn, I can give myself all the value, love, approval I need, so I don't need it from anyone. You literally feel you don't need it from someone else. Someone rejects you, so what? Maybe a close friend, yeah, because of the bond there. But if a stranger rejects you, some girl on the street rejects you, you approach, who cares? You literally get to that point. That is the alpha mindset. That is the Sigma mindset. True blue confidence. If you believe in your ability, why not go after what you want? You can get it, I used to play a lot of video games. I play almost none now. Like, I haven't played a video game in probably a month. And it's because real life is just better because I can get what I want out of real life because I believe my ability and value. And I noticed as I started up-leveling my core, I wanted to play video games less and less. I actually thought about, maybe I should play a video game. And I had this feeling, no, I don't really want to do that. Well, that's my subconscious, because my subconscious, listen, you can get the stuff you really want. Why not? Go out and play real life video game in real life. And in a way, at a very low level, it kind of feels like life is a video game at a very low level now. Because you can go out and get the cool stuff you actually really do want. A video game's a substitute. It's a fantasy because real life, to some degree, sucks. You're trying to escape. I mean, video games are fun. But at some point, camera's back. You're going to want real life if you feel you can get what you want in real life. You're just going to go for it. Would be cool to see a video of me walking around in Mexico. Yeah, I should shoot one with my friend Jorge. I'll put some pictures of a bunch of good food I've been eating in Mexico. I have pictures with me and some girls. I don't know if they'd want me to put that up. If they let me, I'll put that on my Instagram. Yeah, and comfortable, convenient, and secure, I would say, Tim. And it's important to have comfort, convenience, and security, feeling safe. Real life is more fulfilling than games now because I'm getting what I want, Yeah, with your friends, totally get it. That's social. That's cool. All right, so I'm going to show you a client interview. I'm going to show you a client who you're going to look at him. I mean, this guy is jacked. He's good-looking, jacked guy. He's pretty alpha. He had some stuff in and we had to clear her. When you make these deep down changes, you become alpha. You become a Sigma it's an introvert who believes in his ability and value, holds frame, makes himself his mental point of origin. Alpha male, it's a mindset, because if you have this mindset, sooner or later, you're going to acquire the outside traits that other people identify as alpha or Sigma. It's only a matter of time. You guys want to understand our subconscious mind is a supercomputer. It has 1,000 times more processing power than our conscious mind. That's neuroscience. It's been measured. They do the EKG or MRI, whatever they did. It's been measured. So the reason more people don't get ahead is this supercomputer's running viruses. You get the viruses out, it's only a matter of time before you get the outward success that everyone's like, oh, now he's high value. Now they see it because the mindset took you there, but it really is at its core mindset. Rollo Tomasi has said that. Rollo Tomasi said alpha male is a mindset. So Sigma males aren't like avoiding people and they're not shy because they have confidence. Why would they be shy if they have confidence and this other person doesn't define their value? They're authentic, but they're introverts. They're okay with being alone. That's me. That's like, I'm probably more Sigma than anyone else I know, honestly. I would say I am. All right, some alpha too. Oh, I had a lot of beta traits even just 5 years ago, and then I sorted my dating out, fix that. All right, so yep, all right, played that. So I'm going to show you this client interview, and we put some alpha energy in this guy. He was alpha in some ways, but he had some insecurities. We fixed it at a core level. That's what we do. If you want that, book a session. Or, I have different programs coming out, self-hypnosis and otherwise. Get that. Or, inner game healing. John MLDs. I do one webinar showing you how to do self-hypnosis with self-hypnosis. You can sign up every quarter. I'm doing every quarter, a presentation every quarter there. Yeah, Tim, that's interesting, Tim. Yeah, I'm not sure when you're Sigma, but I think Tim's pretty alpha. But it wouldn't surprise me. All right, so we're going to play this interview. I'm going to show you these core things I get into people to turn them more alpha. This is great, man. It's actually two. I hope I bring the right one up. There's a short one. I did a brief follow-up interview. And then there's a long one. So hopefully I bring the first one up first because yeah, this is good. Now I just shoot my mouth the first 3.5 minutes. So we'll skip over that. And this is Troy, and he's going to tell you what we did for him. Core changes here.
What's going on and what it felt like for you?
It was
For the YouTube fans.
Yeah. No, man, I don't even know how to describe it. Like at first, I was a little apprehensive going into it because it's like what to expect, but you go into it and it goes through. Ryan goes through this whole thing of this process, and you come out of it, and it's like something like what we talked about. Something was removed, like a surgery, but it's a good thing that's gone.
Yeah, or it's a bad thing that's gone, so it's a good thing.
Well, it's a
bad thing. That's gone. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a bad thing that's gone, but it's good. It's a good feeling that it's gone. Yeah.
Now, do you mind telling the YouTube watchers, what it was you were struggling with? You don't have to, but are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, let them know what got removed.
Just it was a feeling from I was teased by family for telling them that I had a crush on a girl when I was little.
And how is that affecting you today?
Oh, it was causing me to feel not good enough, not valuable enough to go up and talk to girls. And so it
Now look at this guy, outwardly alpha. I have done sessions for guys who were 9 out of 10, jacked, earning 6 figures, entrepreneurs, own business, had insecurities with women, struggle with dating. So the reason I don't, alpha, beta, sigma, I mean, man, it's problematic because people can be very alpha in one way, very beta or omega or whatever. It's really down to if you have insecurities, lack of self-belief, all that in you, let's fix it. And we'll give you genuine, deep down, core confidence. And so we fix this for Troy. You'll hear.
That's crazy. Like
he humiliated you as a kid about that. And now that program was still there, and we cleared some of it today.
And like it's now like literally I'm trying to feel where I was feeling it, and it's not there.
Feel it inside of you, because before we were in the session, okay, we talked about when you were young.
Yeah.
And we started talking about how it was your dad and your siblings were making fun of you for this girl, right? And then I said before the session, can you feel this inside of you? And you said, yeah. And I was like, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Locate it before.
And
think about that memory now. Think about that memory now. You're 8 years old. You're being made fun of. What do you feel?
Nothing.
Fuck yeah. That's how it's fucking done.
All right. Right there. He had some insecurities in him. He could feel it. He could just go and feel it. It was so easy to connect. Now it's gone. It's permanently gone. That's what we do. We fix stuff at a core level, basically give you big dick energy. I mean, this is how alpha males are made. If you're raised in an emotionally healthy household and your parents give you confidence, you grow up to be an alpha male or a sigma male if you're an introvert. If you weren't blessed with that, you can still get it, and this is how it's done. Straight up facts.
Seriously, that's like yeah.
And
Like I'm trying to feel it, and it's not there.
yeah, so here's the thing. You may have a little bit of it come back, but all you got to do is, if you feel it come back at all, you listen to the audio once or twice, and then it's just gone.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Cool.
and then it's like on to the next thing, you know.
Yeah.
And usually, you know, we have stuff come up. You may be like right as rain, and then in 2 months you're like, man, there's this other thing I'm struggling with, and I didn't really notice it, but man, it keeps coming up. You ramp it up. You ask yourself, what's it about? If you're not sure, you know, do a session with me. You know, like I said, we're already going to do another session, and I'll guide you through it. But what's happening is, as I take you through these sessions, I'm helping you build a connection to what's inside of you so you get more clarity. The more you do this, the more clarity you get. And the more clarity, the more connection you get to your subconscious. Did you know our subconscious mind processes 1,000 times as much as our conscious mind?
Yeah.
It's
yeah, that I have. Yeah, for sure.
So you've have you ever heard people talk about their gut, like gut instinct, and how valuable that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when you clear your trauma and you get a real clear connection to your subconscious, which includes your gut, you're gonna get just really good insights.
Yeah, I'll
help you
skip
make real
forward
good
to
life
where he starts
decisions,
talking
because
more.
you're tapping
I
into
like
that
to shoot my mouth.
computer.
Here we
You
go.
can turn it off whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Any final thoughts on your session? Were you skeptical going into it?
Yeah, well, because I'd done like these hypnosis tapes, you know, like these, you know, like the just guided tape things, and I never felt like I was actually in hypnosis. Like I could wake up at any time.
And
You
how
know,
is
like
this different?
there was and I don't know if this is a normal thing, but like there was a couple of times where some part of my brain was saying wake up, and I couldn't. Like I felt like I was like I was in it, you know. I mean, I was like, you know, I don't know.
You're like,
it was like
"Oh,
my
I'm in
brain
deep,
wanted, like my brain wanted to get out, but like yeah, it was really cool. Like so, like my number one skeptic, you know, skeptic. What am I trying to say?
Doubt.
Skepticism. That's what I was trying to. It was just, can I even be hypnotized? Can I be put under hypnosis? And yeah, it's weird. Like you don't. It's not what not quite what you think it would be. But once you're in there, it's like, okay, I really am. You know, I mean, that was really, I was under, and yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
well, yeah,
cool.
you did fantastic. Any message for anyone thinking about doing this?
Got to do it.
Okay,
You just
so
gotta do it.
scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? How helpful was the session to you? Scale of 1 to 10, honest answer.
Honest answer, 10.
All right,
not just trying to butter you up or anything. That was
my honor,
I mean,
and my
seriously,
privilege.
that was awesome. So
yeah, you know, and like I said, I have a 6-figure day job.
All right, and then I just talk a lot, so we'll get rid of that part. But I'm going to show you just a little bit at the end that we added on. I turned off the camera and he told me something. And it's like, oh, wait, I want our audience to hear that. So here's the second part here. And this shows you what we do. More of what you already said. But this is interesting. This is about approach anxiety. I've had before, and then I interview them 6 months later. Their approach anxiety is still way down, 2, 3 out of 10.
before we stop recording, oh, did you?
I started again.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to share this real quick. It was just something that kind of went through my mind as you were talking. There's a girl at the gym today. I'd seen her in once before. Before this session, I was like just thinking about going up and talking to her. It created that feeling that I had. I just thought about, you know, approaching her now. Nothing.
Nice. Very good.
So
and
just wanted to let you know that, I mean, there's literally like, I mean, obviously I got to go out and, you know, put it into action.
And actually, I followed up with him. He, I think the very next day or 3 days later or something like that, he approached that girl, or I don't know if it's that girl, it was a girl. and his approach anxiety before extremely high, 2 out of 10 now, like permanently 2 out of 10.
But
that's what we do. We're changing what you believe and feel deep down. Those are the subconscious changes. And when you get these deep down changes, then you're alpha in that area. And we fix enough areas, then you're just alpha or sigma if you're an introvert.
just
Yeah,
the
so
thought
you may feel a little nervousness when you put it into
Of course.
action, but it will be different.
Yeah.
And, there was a few things I told you in this session that are pretty important, which is, one, I think the old paradigm for you was, oh, I have to say everything just right so she'll accept me. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the new paradigm, what I mentioned in the session, is all you're doing is finding out. You're finding out, is she a good friend or a bad friend? The bad friend, throw her by the wayside. Good friend, okay, positive.
And that's actually pretty alpha mindset.
Yeah.
You're just finding out. You're not proving anything. You're not trying to succeed. You're trying to find out.
You don't need to prove anything. You already know you're good enough.
Is she a good friend or bad friend?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually that thinking about approaching this girl at the gym next time I see her, it actually kind of gets me a little excited now.
Yeah, man.
See, we're changing the deep down feeling. So just wanted to show you guys that's what we do. I mean, I have 17, 18 other testimonials, interviews. I have long-term follow-up interviews. And this is what we do. And when you have a different belief system, everything falls after that. So let's see. Any other comments? So that's pretty much our show for today. The whole alpha, sigma, as opposed to beta, gamma, delta, betas, gammas, deltas, omegas, all of that. They don't really believe in their ability and value. They don't really put themselves first. Rollo Tomasi nailed it with his make yourself your own mental point of origin, hold frame, all of that. He nailed it. But if you don't believe in your ability and value deep down, you're going to struggle with that, because that subconscious program is going to be fighting that for the rest of your life until you change it. So let's change it. And then become true blue, authentic, alpha, sigma, and then the success follows. But you're already enough as you are right now. Not that now, Tim, honestly, pretty alpha. Tim just gets stuff done. He's a man. I've known Tim a long time. You're very welcome, Tim. That's our show. We change your belief systems. And once you believe in your ability and value, then you go out and you get what you want and great stuff happens. I've done it for myself. I've done it for others. I've seen the results. I've seen guys doubling their income, a couple guys 10x their income, guys tripling their income, going up 40%. That's not any sort of claim or guarantee. It's an observation that has happened with a lot of guys. You watch my interviews, you'll have guys telling you about that in my interviews. Once you get this alpha mindset, this sigma mindset down in your core, you're still the same person. You still have the same abilities. But now you believe in yourself. Now you have this supercomputer subconscious mind working for you. And once you get on the other side, you're going to realize that you truly do have more power than you know. That's our show. Thank you.